My name is Alheri Magaji. I'm from Kaduna local government area in Kaduna State, northern Nigeria. The project that I'm so excited to tell you about is the Fertilizer Birth Initiative. With this project, we provide fertilizers to vulnerable people in the village, mostly orphans who are old enough to farm and widows, although we do give men as well, just vulnerable displaced people in general. But sometimes we focus mainly on widows. So by this initiative, we're able to empower beneficiaries to start rebuilding their lives, because most of them lost everything to the crisis. They were left with absolutely nothing, with children crying for food. They're not even thinking of paying fees, school fees, hospital bills, because they're basically trying to survive. So to put their kids in school from the income they made from the harvest, because for each harvest after fertilizer, they give us back a bag or two, and then they sell some, and then they use part of the grains to farm and then buy fertilizer for themselves for the next farming season. In addition to giving them the fertilizer, we train them on business techniques and modern day farming techniques so that they can better equip themselves business-wise and on the farm, so that they can get better outputs with their grains, and then also managing the money they make from selling grains. We have had so many success stories. We've had people like Viviana, for example, in Marabon Kajuru, who from 2 bags of granules is now giving out loans to people to be able to farm or to buy fertilizer for themselves. She's a huge success story. We have so many other farmers like that. We have our contact person, Peter Jonathan, who is always on ground, making sure that the grains come out well, making sure that when they encounter difficulties, they always have someone there, a part of our team on ground, to help them through whatever difficulties they're facing. This is because, like we said, they are in rural areas. Most of them don't have phones. And because we are in Kaduna town and the roads are not safe, there are still attacks happening. Even last night there was an attack. People keep dying. Even our contact person was shot last year. But we can't stop what we do, because these people need help. And because they're cut off from the town, it's difficult for them to be able to rebuild their lives without initiatives like this. So what typical day involves waking up in the morning, getting in touch with all the people who are our contacts there, knowing what problem, solve the problem, how we can get whatever they need to the village. If it's a sick person, sometimes they're on the farm, they get bitten by snakes, they fall because of lack of food sometimes. Then we arrange how they can be brought to Kaduna to see a doctor, we pay for all that. We're just trying to make sure that they rebuild their lives because of what they've gone through. That's why we focus specifically on vulnerable people who were displaced by the crisis that has ravaged Kaduna State in recent times. This is one of the communities that we provide fertilizers to beneficiaries. Because we're not here to deliver fertilizers, that's why the people are not here around me, because normally what happens is when I get the funding, we're going to buy the fertilizers, and then we decide which communities at that time need the fertilizers. There's so many people that need it that we've never been able to give everybody at once. It's always like a drop in the ocean. But for this project with WaveMakers, we're planning to have at least 50 bags of fertilizers to give 50 beneficiaries. And this is one of the communities that we hope to be able to provide fertilizers to. And these beneficiaries are going to give us back 50 bags of grains. So this project achieves 3 things. For the beneficiaries, it gives them an income, because they sell some of the grains they harvest from this fertilizer, and then they make an income where they are able to pay their school fees, their hospital bills, they're able to get a place to live and start to rebuild their lives. They're able to feed their children, and then from the bags they give us back, they're able to also feed their neighbors who couldn't farm and don't have food to eat. So it's what makes the project so exciting, because these 3 things happen because of that 1 bag of fertilizer that we give 1 beneficiary. And it doesn't stop there. It also helps them to begin to rebuild their communities. It builds resilience, because it gives them hope that they can start to live better lives from even what they used to live before the crisis hit them.